Hi everybody. This is Jeremy Johnson here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and it's another episode of Brew. You down there,
Me? This guy?
that guy. I'm joined as always with by Justin Levesque out in Seattle.
How's it going, everyone? Go Seahawks! Yeah, Seahawks. Sports.
I don't know who that is, but okay, it's all good.
You know the Tigers?
Yeah, I heard. Actually, there was somebody who was going to join us tonight, but they were instead going to the Tigers game. So
Well,
can't blame them for that.
double lots.
Okay, so tonight we're going to try something a little bit different. I know we got a couple of people hopefully joining us. I'm still trying to figure out how to share the link. I got the there's the that's the URL. I found that when I click on embed up top there, it'll give me a URL. So I think I can actually share that to everybody at home if they can't find it quite easily. So let me send this out real quick. Compose. So how's everything going in Seattle?
Well, we actually have Fremont Solstice parade party, whatever you want to call it, going on today, which features nude bike riders that get half off on draft beers downtown today. I'm actually missing that at the moment.
Sorry, I wouldn't say I was missing it, Bob. No, is that the one that has been featured on G4?
I'm sure it has. It's quite an event. I mean, there's literally hundreds of bike riders that are half nude or more.
Yeah.
Which are all going by my house on the way down there, so I don't actually have to go down there per se. I just don't get half off.
You get all off. So they're not wearing anything.
Well, I can just look to my neighbors for that. So.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, interesting.
Right. And what is your address exactly?
Well, you might be able to see it from Google Maps with the new map system going on now, that new satellite.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so yeah, I sent out the link, and I'm thinking maybe I should actually post it too, just in case.
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Just in case. I think it auto posts, but we're just not real super familiar with this yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and publish that publicly. So, okay. So had a great day today. Where were you? Were you sleeping the whole day?
Doing my thing.
Okay. Enough said.
Can't report. This is live, isn't it? Wait.
Yep, it is live, yeah. We're broadcasting right now. So.
What? We're not rolling?
No.
I don't believe you.
Are we rolling? Is this thing on? So I just got back from Jay and Carla Cook's, where we were with Ian. There's Ian in there. And we had a really nice barbecue, which was pretty cool. Had a few Oberons.
Oh, Oberon. How was it this season?
It's actually pretty good. I got one of the mini kegs at D&W for like $18. It was cheap, and it's perfectly fine. It's great for summer. I mean, right now it's 90 degrees out. It's pretty hot. Yeah.
Man, we're only running about barely 80, but
yeah,
it's pretty warm for us.
Yeah, that is pretty warm for you. And honestly, 90 here in Michigan right now, that's pretty warm too.
Fair enough. Been there.
So tonight we're going to, Justin and I decided to do something a little bit different. We're going to try two beers, which we tried in our dry run, except we don't know what we're going to be drinking. I know what I'm going to be drinking, and he knows what he's going to be drinking, but I don't know what he's going to be drinking. He doesn't know what I'm going to be drinking. So.
And I don't know what you're going to be drinking, but I know what I'm drinking.
Exactly. What you
say. I get it.
So, in honor of Justin and his first dry run, I've decided to, and I previewed this earlier this week, I'm going to try, I've never tried, the Right Brain Firestarter Chipotle Porter.
Going for some spice today, huh?
Yep. You had some problem with that.
I don't know. I mean, luckily there's no footage of the faces I was making.
There is footage.
Wait, there is. Shit.
There is. Yep, sorry. So I thought, in honesty, because I've seen this on the shelves, and I've actually been to Right Brain Brewery where they had this on tap, and I did not try it because number one, I don't like porter, so it's too sweet and sticky for me. And then the thought of combining some spices in there and hot peppers just didn't really appeal to me. But I am super curious, and it's an unusual enough beer to where I have to try it at least once. So because Justin got a nice big bottle, I went out and got a nice big bottle,
And it's Saturday.
and I have
Ah,
the stein into which it can fit, courtesy Joel Bush. He
thank you,
got me the
Joel.
mug. Yeah.
Joel could
So
not utilize it himself.
well, it's a Hofbrau. This is our favorite mug
Ah,
because it's just. I mean, you could kill a hobo with this. You could beat him to death. Just
well, there's a thought.
I mean, if you had to in a fight, if you had a
Maybe it'll be
shotgun,
featured in the next Hobo movie. Hobo with a beer mug.
exactly. Hobo with a stein.
That
That'd
has
be
a
a
ring
jerk.
to it,
What,
actually.
what's
Hobo with
German
a
for
stein.
hobo? So I'm gonna go ahead and crack this puppy open. It's been chilling for about a week or so. So we'll see what happens here. Woo! Little spooge on my keyboard.
Little feisty there.
Yep. Into the glass she goes. Ho, 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 ho.
Wow, that's a beautiful thing.
That is a porter, my friend.
That is a porter.
And we're just gonna do the whole thing because really,
Woo.
oh,
Look at that head.
that has got some head. All right, looks like we won't be able to get all of it in there,
Apparently not.
but we'll get enough of it. So
Just the tip. It's good enough.
okay, so we're gonna give this a whiff.
I was waiting for that. With mustache.
Oh, it smells good. It's got like this sort of creamy, smoky. It smells kind of good.
This is from Right Brain.
Yeah, this is Right Brain Brewery.
Where are they out of? I forget.
They are out of Traverse City.
Okay.
You remember that, don't you? You haven't been gone that long.
I've not been to Traverse City in far too long, in fact.
And we're actually going up next weekend. Juliet and Carla and Jay are doing the Barbecuties Sam's Club qualifier for the Kansas City competition.
Ah, nice.
So
Always a good time.
yeah, absolutely. And I get to eat free barbecue, so let's not talk about that.
Yeah, rough life.
Yeah. So here's what it says about the Firestarter Chipotle Porter. It says, the lowdown, are you tired of drinking boring beer? Do you have an unhealthy obsession with spicy food? Is adventurous your middle name? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then do not set this beer down. Immediately remove the cap from this bottle and consume the contents.
Assuming you already have a can opener.
Yeah, well, or bottle opener.
Right.
Yeah. The experience, sweet at first, followed by smoky, finishing with a kick that sizzles in the back of your throat, satisfying, savory, and robust.
Can you say that with a little more sensuality?
Sweet at first, followed by smoky, finishing with a kick
I just want to see your lips on the camera.
that sizzles in the back of your throat.
That's a phone call. Sorry about that.
That's fair. I'm sure it's a fan.
All
All right, so
well,
let's give this a whiff. We already said smoky and creamy. I'm getting like this weird sort of almost like a candy sensation. It's weird,
I don't think I've heard of that
like
before.
a Werther's, like a caramel, but candy. Okay, it's a porter. Go figure. It's not. There's not a whole lot of spice to it. In my, it kind of like sits there. It sort of. It's not hot. It's not like the jalapeno beers that you and I've had. It's it's more of a smoky sort of.
What's
Uh,
that? Like
Burger.
Solitude from Brew Havant? That campfire smoke kind of taste, or
Not really. I mean, it's really subdued. It's very sort of flat. It reminds me of some German Rauch beers, some smoke beers that I've had, but not that heavy in smoke. It has really nice sweetness to it. I know Chipotle's can be a little sweet, um, like a charred aspect to it, but very subdued. Um, it is very sweet, like you would expect from a porter, but it's not overpowering.
I'm wondering if it's like the burn side that the reviews came back that it widely varied the amount of spice. In fact, when I went back to Bottle Works today to pick up my mystery beer,
Hmm.
I told them like someone else was picking up the burn side, and I had a quick talk with them and with one of the owners. Then they had done a quick test of the burn side, and about half of them they said were just wasn't a lot to it, but the other half was just burning, and they'd used two different bottles.
That's crazy, right? I mean, you wouldn't expect that. I mean, but it's a microbrewery, so. But yours was bottled, wasn't it?
Mine was bottled.
So, in that sort of production facility, you would expect to have a little bit more homogenized.
You'd hope so.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it. This does remind me of both the Mangalitsa Porter that Right Brain does, and they do a Dirty Girl Scout, which I think it's a stout, but it's mint stout. It has that sort of subdued flavor. In the Mangalitsa Porter, I expected to have a lot of pork. In the Dirty Girl Scout or something like that, I expected to have much more mint. But it was in both those cases they sort of sublimated those aspects of the beer that you would expect. And the same thing's going on here. The Chipotle is nice. I can really sort of like taste it on the tongue because
Is it kind of like a long mouth feel? Kind of that comes in at the end, or is it?
it's really weird. It says that you would get some sort of kick at the back of the throat. I'm not getting that at all. I am getting on the tongue. There's very dry roughness on the tongue, and just that sort of simmering. I can't even really call it heat, but it's sort of there. It's very deft, very subliminal almost. It's weird because the dryness aspect makes this much more palatable to me because I don't like heavy, sweet porters. So it sort of tastes very drinkable.
Well, it's great that the heat's not overwhelming, like my burn side. That even the owner admitted, "Hey, let's just if we're gonna open up a 22 ounce. We're gonna split it between 4 people, 3 or 4 people, because it's just not made for much more than
Yeah.
unless you really just need that spice in your life."
Well, I do. I recently had I went down to Hopcat for lunch, and I know you know what Hopcat is, but
Yeah.
our viewers, Hopcat is the third biggest and most popular beer bar in the world. I think it is. They have I forget what it is. It's more than 48. It might be like 60 taps. Plus, they brew their own beer, and they're just like literally a mile away from here. I can walk to it.
And they have crack fries.
And they have cracked fries. But for the summer, they bring back the jerk, the beer that they brew with jerk seasoning, and that has a nice heat, like really hot, but extremely pleasant. Uh,
I think I tried that with you last year.
yeah, we
I,
did, and it wasn't as good last year as it is right now, and I'm not sure if they got better at it or whatever, but it's really good right now, and it's a really good balance. Like it could tip to too hot, and it could, like when you and I had it, it was just like, you don't really get the jerk that much, a little bit, but not really that much. Or you could taste the seasoning, but you couldn't really get the heat. Now it's perfect. It's beautiful.
And compared to Founders, their habanero or their chili beer, what's their
Spite is their jalapeno beer, and they did that whole series. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, definitely. Compared to, you're saying that are they similar, or are they which would you pick over the two?
Oh, you mean Hopcat or Founders?
Yeah, the jerk or the spite.
I would do Jerk all the way because I love even when we go to B Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings, I always get the jerk seasoning no matter what I get. Chicken wings, boneless chicken wings, whatever. I love jerk Jamaican seasoning. I've been to Jamaica 3 times. I love Jamaican spices. I love jalapeno too, but it seems a little easy, I guess. The jerk is not what you expect in a beer. Jalapeno, you can kind of see that. So that's my impression. So this is Right Brains Chipotle Firestarter Chipotle Porter. I really like the Firestarter part too because Stephen King.
I remember seeing that at Martha's. Come to think of it.
Yeah, it's been pretty wide, and that's exactly where I bought it. Martha's had, they had a pretty good selection, and I decided, let's go for it. So I'm pleasantly surprised with this. I don't like porters, but I sort of do like this. I still wouldn't choose it, particularly not like on a summer day when it's 90 degrees.
Fair enough.
Probably not the best idea in the world. It still has those sort of sticky, sweet qualities, but it's not terrible. I suggest drinking it as cold as you can get it, and then probably at night if it's cold. I can see this, drinking this around a campfire maybe.
Fair enough.
Like a really nice, crisp, early fall day in Michigan. Around a campfire, this would actually really be good. They also do recommend this for cooking. At the price point, I'm not sure that that's such a great idea, but it has enough sticky sweet quality that you put this on a roast chicken, you could probably do it. It's perfectly fine. So I want one more sip here, and I'll give you my final thoughts.
What's the alcohol content on that?
Let's see if it says, but 5.9, which that's actually a good deal, because porters alcohol tends to add a little sweetness. And at 5.9, that's not too much further than a stout. So maybe that's what's giving it some of the dry qualities. I do love their beer no evil.
That's fantastic
too. That's kind of funny. I like Right Brain. I like all their stuff and what they do, and I know that there was a shift in brewing management and that kind of thing a while back, but once they changed head brewers, as a lot of breweries will do, they actually tended to they started to mass produce a bit more and sort of solidify their core lines, which I like and I don't like. You know me, I want crazy ass beers all the time.
of course.
But I understand the economics in business that they would need something that's going to be palatable to the masses, but still reflect their sort of weirdness. And Right Brain, I think, does a good job with this one. So you know what? I have to give this on a scale of 1 to 10. It's a tough call. I want to say 7.5, but I don't like half numbers, so I would err on the 7 side. So I gotta say this is a 7 out of 10 for me.
You could be like, what's that other blog we follow? 7.2 for shits and giggles.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I think a scale of 1 to 10 actually makes a whole lot of sense. So, and there's room there for creating, unlike Netflix, 5 stars.
Which is terrible because I end up putting a lot on 3. There's a lot of movies I don't dislike, but I don't want to put as I liked it either, which puts you right in the 3 zone, which just means that my recommendations are right across the board a lot of the time,
Absolutely.
which is really frustrating actually some days. However, Avengers just came out, so I was just actually watching that for the first time right before this.
So is it actually the real Avengers?
The Marvel's Avengers, yep.
Okay, so
That was
it's
my first watching of it, so.
well, have fun with that because it's a great movie, I think.
Yeah, so far I'm just getting to the big fight downtown, so
Oh,
it's been a fun ride so far. So I was happy to see a nice, just explosions, fighting, kind of blockbuster. It's been a while. Okay, so I went with Iron Horse Brewery's High Five Hef. Whoop, wrong way. I do that every week. Ginger, honey, and wheat. That's what it says in the bottle.
that sounds delicious.
I was in the mood for a good hef, and it's a nice summer day, so just about the right temperature. What's going on?
I'm just adjusting so I can get my Detroit in there.
So I can get my belly in the stomach.
There we go. I just want to get Detroit in there as well. Holy cow. That's some head, my friend.
That is quite a bit, surprisingly, actually. But, ooh, the aroma is quite, let's see, it's the word floral. It's very fruity, very, very distinct, actually. And then before we actually start these shows, I go on and see I go hop over to Beer Advocate and kind of see what other people are saying, see if they kind of match up. And
do you think that sort of temp or colors your expectations then?
I don't actually. I think it gives me a good idea of to be able to bounce off what other people are working, like what else they're seeing from it. And I mean, since you and I used to go back when I was in Michigan every week and have our adventures. I kind of slowed down a bit once I got here, and I'm trying to find those things that I used to look for. So I guess it's kind of helpful to a degree.
Okay, fair enough.
Like last week, right off the bat, the cloves are really kind of overpowering, actually.
Do you think it's the ginger? Because that would be the most sharp thing in that. It's a ginger honey wheat, so there shouldn't be much in the way of cloves.
Well, there's cloves in that. I mean, well, I think you might be right there. The ginger's, yes, very strong. And I've got sorry, I'm distracted.
No, you're okay.
Got gnats here.
I got to move this over slightly.
Apparently that's the big thing here. At least you don't get the mosquitoes. That's what I've found yet.
Oh, we've got gnats crazy though.
Make sure that's is that a promotional thing? It has to be in the background at all times.
I actually got a text from Ian said, "Fuck your shirt, you can't see the poster."
Very nice. Very nice.
I should get the let's get the there we go. Get a little light on there.
Well, let's say aside from the ginger, it's pretty standard. A little bit watery, actually.
So that means thin mouthfeel.
Yeah, I'd say in comparison to, I've tried most of the hefts at Martha's, and I think Pyramid still makes one of my favorites. Um, but on a day like today, it's actually not bad, and I think it's at 6%, so a little bit stronger than what I'm used to.
Right.
But on a nice, actually on a nice evening like this, where it's about 77 degrees, not bad to sit outside and just and sip for a while, actually. But it's pretty standard. I'm not overly impressed either way.
Hmm. Where are they out of?
I believe they're out of Washington here. Not sure where. Let's see. Bottled and brewed by Iron Horse Brewery, Ellensburg, Washington.
Ellensburg. Well, it's I've never even heard of it. I mean, Iron Horse I've heard of, but I don't think I've ever had any of their stuff.
I think they had 2 or 3 bottles that on the shelf that I could find.
Okay.
One of them was a triple Belgian.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was very tempted, and I probably should have picked it up, but I didn't. I wasn't quite in the mood for it today. But
No, that's fair enough. I mean,
it's a limited release though, was the only thing, and it was in a 22, and
yeah.
like,
No, that's fair enough. Particularly Belgians. If you get into the triple and the quadruples, the quads, then they can be a little on the heavy side. Particularly if you don't have a taste for them, you know. So I think a wheat ale, particularly now in the beginning of summer, that's
it's always a good choice. I mean, can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I would go. Let's say about a 6. I think it's not over the top. It's not anything outrageous. I would actually like a little bit more flavor.
Okay.
From this, but
Can I see the bottle again?
oh, the bottle. That's the glass.
No, I'm just curious about the. Sorry. Say something.
Sorry? Hello?
Okay, good enough. So that's a ginger honey Hefeweizen,
Indeed.
which is it's sort of an unusual. I know that somebody here does a ginger beer that I really like because there's something dry and spicy about ginger that lends itself to a pilsner or a lighter type of beer, a pale ale maybe. In a Hefeweizen, that sounds a little suspect.
Yeah, it's leaning more towards the wheat actually, but
Yeah, and that's what Hefeweizen is basically a white wheat.
right.
So I don't. It just sounds kind of weird. I do tend to shy away from honey beers too because you know, growing up with the advent of honey brown and all those sort of honey beers, I sort of got burnt out on them. But my buddy Ian Bresky, he does home brewing, and he's done a couple beers with honey that have turned out pretty well. And I think he's also done some, not Perry's, but some meads with honey that have turned out really nicely. And I've actually grown to appreciate honey in meads, particularly, because I think that's a good forum for it. But in a Hefeweizen, that sounds weird.
Yeah, it's not even as like, well, I've had quite a few different kinds of hefts, and so it'd probably be the least amount of hef that I can say I've really tried. Trying to think what's yeah, Pyramids out here as well, which I'm sure you can find that pretty much anywhere, especially their hef.
Oh, yeah.
That's usually my go-to when it comes to this.
Well, I know Juliet, my wife. She really loves apricot, pyramids apricot
Ah,
ale. We used to
apricot
buy
ale.
those. And I think we may have mentioned this
I
too.
think I brought that over before, actually.
Yeah, and well, we lived in St. Louis about 15 years ago, and that was sort of uh, the front runner to all of the microbrew stuff. And Pyramid used to brew some really weird beers. Like they had a blueberry something or another before anybody even thought to do something like that. And so we were lucky enough to, start snapping some of that stuff up before it became really popular. And over the course of time, Pyramids become sort of more mainstream. Although
Right.
their apricot is still good, their Hefeweizen are still pretty good. Um, but they've sort of let go of some of the more experimental beers like the blueberry. I think they did some sort of cranberry one. We went to some sort of bar years later. I can't remember where it was, but they had all of the pyramid bottles lined up, sort of like gradings up on the roof along a rail, and it was all of the ones that you could no longer get. So, and there were a ton of them. I mean,
Their beer graveyard.
yeah, Pyramid would mass produce these really crazy looking, uh, you know, experimental beers, and then of course they were short term seasonal beers, whatever, and you couldn't get them anymore. And they would never reproduce them. They would never recreate them.
We were
So
actually talking about that at BattleWorks as well, with some of the spiced beers they had there, um, that they're not really seeing as much. They've got a great selection. I mean, over 900 bottles there. Plus, they have I think 10 on tap. I've actually got a fantastic growler from there that I go there occasionally to fill up. But he was saying that they're not getting a lot of ridiculous beers there anymore. Like they're kind of getting toned down a little bit more. He says probably for economic reasons that you know they're just kind of finding their go-tos and sticking with them. Like Bell's has their Too Hard that they came out with, and Oberon for a while was the same way. They had that they really stuck out, but now Bell's Too Hearted, and like Oberon and a few of those others you can really find pretty much anywhere, and they're too much of a household name at this point for me to be really excited about them. Just like when you go to that where is it in like the intersection or something in Grand Rapids, it's like Coors, Bud Light, Oberon. Like, oh, here's your microbrew. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, well, it's good, but I mean, I'm looking for more than
well, that's the sort of conundrum with microbrew drinkers like us, because we were always sort of looking for that next new thing, and really appreciating like the bold new steps that people were doing. But it was like Bell's Oberon and Too Hard, who forged that way, and they just simply become so popular that they're being mass produced on a much more larger scale, and and who can blame them? But they're, like you said, the breweries sort of realize that, and they're sort of retracting a little bit because they understand that you can be like Leinenkugel. They sell it to Miller,
right.
and yes, they get nationwide distribution, but the quality becomes so homogenized that they're no longer special. And Bell sort of has hit that peak, and Larry Bell understands that where Oberon used to be something really special to us microbrew drinkers, that we would come out in droves for the Oberon keg tapping.
Right.
That I think that he actually went back and purchased the stock from enough of those stockholders that he now has control again, and he can start brewing what he says weird beers, which really excites me because
Well,
I
definitely.
I want to see, now that Bell's has a footprint and a foothold in the marketplace with their standard beers, then he could, there's no reason why he couldn't come out with some crazy batshit Oberon cranberry beer. It would probably taste terrible, but I would
I don't know.
I would be first in line to try it.
Well, of course, and especially after, Oberon went through a couple bad years of the recipe being more domesticated, that I didn't even want to touch it for 2 or 3 years there, and I really steered clear when there was so many other choices. But it's good to know that he'll hopefully be bringing some style back to his beer.
That's the hope and dream. And I will say this year, the last 2 years actually, I've been really happy with the quality of Oberon. So it's not quite what it used to be, but it's retaining that style. So hopefully it'll become something that we're standing in line for again. That would be the ideal. So.
Definitely.
Okay, well, let's wrap this up. Let's give our final thoughts. Obviously, I thought Right Brain's Firestarter Chipotle Porter, and you can see I got through a goodly portion. Excuse me. It's actually really good beer. I'm pleasantly happy. It's something I thought would be middle of the road, 5 out of 10 for sure, but for me, it's a 7 out of 10, creeping up on something else, but 7 out of 10 for me.
And I'll say, well, once again, high five, or Iron Horse's high five Hef. I'd say, unfortunately, it's right down the middle of the road. I give it about a 6 out of 10. It's light and refreshing. But if you're looking for a Hef, I would probably look in another direction. But altogether, not a bad summer afternoon drink. Just nothing, nothing over the top, no extra kick. So.
Okay, well that's it for us, guys. Until next time, we'll hopefully see you next weekend. I'm going to be in Traverse City with the Barbecuties team. They're going to be competing in the Sam's Club qualifier for Kansas City cook-off. But I think I'll be able to get a signal up there with my Chromebook, so it might not be as nice as this, but it'll be something for sure. So I hope to see you next week. In the meantime,
brew you.
All right, see you.